Hey guys, let's see how we can solve this lead code 279 perfect squares. Let's go through the problem description. So we will be given a positive integer n. We have to find the least number of perfect squares with sum to n. Let's see what the problem says. We will be given a number n and we have to split the number into multiple numbers n1, n2, n3 and so on like nk. We can split into as many numbers as we want, and first condition is all these numbers n1, n2, n3 and so on nk should be perfect squares, and second condition is this k should be minimal, which means we have to split the number n into minimum number of perfect squares. So what is a perfect square? A perfect square is a number whose square root is an integer which does not have any decimal value. Let us take 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Let us take 17. Square root of 17 is 4 point something, maybe 1 2 or something. So 17 is not a perfect square and 16 is a perfect square. So I hope the problem statement is clear. Just pause the video for a moment and just think how are we going to solve. Okay, so let's see what are the initial thoughts that come to our mind when we see this problem. The immediate greedy solution that comes to our mind is, let's take the number, split into nearest perfect square. In case of 17, 16 is the nearest perfect square. So 16, and what is the residue that is left after splitting into this, and that is 1. And 1 is already a perfect square, so we return 2. And this is the immediate solution that comes to our mind. I mean, you might have thought something different, but this is the solution that came to my mind after seeing this problem. So this is a greedy solution, right? A greedy solution is something which takes the greedy step at every point until we go to the solution. Say for example, let's see how we can solve for 5. With this solution, the nearest perfect square is 4 and the residue left is again 1. So let's take 13. So nearest perfect square is 9, residue left is 4, and 4 can be again split into multiple numbers, but that is not needed because 4 is already a perfect square, because square root of 4 is 2 and we return 2 here, this plus this. And the greedy solution worked here also, but let's take the case for 12. The nearest perfect square is 9 and the residue left is 3. 3 is not a perfect square, so we are going to split 3 again, and the nearest perfect square for 3 is 1, so we are going to split into 1 1 1. I mean, first we split into 1, then the residue left is 2 and again we split into 1 1. So for this solution, for this case, the solution is going to be 9, which is 1 2 3 4, because the numbers we are going to split is 4. But let's see the test case that they have given. For 12, the answer is 3 because they are splitting into 4 4 4, but our greedy solution is giving 4. I mean 9 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Their solution has three numbers they split, and then we are going to split into 4 numbers, so greedy solution is not going to work. So what now? It's clear that we cannot proceed with the solution, right? So what to do now? Just give it a thought again. So one thing is, our solution should involve all the perfect squares until that number. See, for 12, what are the perfect squares until 12? 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9 and 4 square is 16. So we don't keep 16 because it is more than our number and we cannot split 12 into 16. So we will just don't consider 16. So these are the numbers that can contribute to 12, and these are the numbers which we can use as many times as we want and in whatever order we want. So uh, this is like something where from one point we can go to multiple different points. Let us say we are at here and we have to go here, and what are all the options here? we can take 1 any number of times, we can take 4 any number of times, we can take 9 any number of times. So just to visualize, let's write like this: 1 4 9, again 1 4 9, and we can 1 4 9, 1 4 9, and so on and so on. And again we can write 1 4 9, 1 4 9, so and so on and so on. So the problem is we have to go from here to here, and we can take any node at any point of time, but the only condition is the sum of all nodes that we are going to take must be 12. So we can take like this path 1 1 1 and so on 12 times and finally take this path, or else we can take 1, first is 1 and then we can take 4 and then later 1 and then we can again go to this path and then we can join this node at the last, or else we can take 4 and we can take 4, we can take 4 and we can go here, or else we can take 9 10 and 3 ones and we can again join here. So like it is not necessarily this, and then this is just an example for what we can take. So this is the problem statement. Now what we have to find is we have to find the minimum number of node hops that we are going to make, right? So how are we going to do? Like at this point of time we can say this is a dynamic programming problem, since we are optimizing the number of hops here, which means we are optimizing the number of states. So for any dynamic programming problem, just think like this: we are at the initial point and we have to go to this end point, and suppose if somehow we come to this I, just imagine what are all the possible cases from I where we can hop to. So we can hop to I plus 1 for our example, or we can hop to I plus 4, or we can hop to I plus 9, right? So if we see this, let's take some other node I plus 1, and so what are all the possible nodes which lead to I plus 1? So let's take this as a k. So k minus 1 can lead to this I plus, k minus 1 can lead to this k, because k minus 1 plus 1 is k, and k minus 4 can lead to k, and k minus 9 can lead to k, because we just add 9 to k minus 9 and we can just add 4 to k minus 4 and we can be at kth node. So the problem is we know all the nodes which lead to k. Now we have to find the nodes which lead to k with minimum number of hops. So for example, take k minus 1 is 1 plus number of hops to k minus 1. If we are coming through k minus 1, let's say you came to this k minus 1 with 10 hops, and you can come to k in the 11th hop, right? So just take a moment to digest it. So you are at k minus 1th node with 10 hops, and at 11th hop you will be at kth node, because you will be just adding 1, and at any point of time your hop will be 149 in our case, because these are the only perfect squares which are less than 12. So and if we take k minus 4, if we are at k minus 4th node in one hop, we can just add 4 and we can come to k. So the problem is clear now. We just have to identify which of these k minus 1, k minus 4, k minus 9 is giving us less number of hops. So this is not just for this problem, this applies to any problem. So you take any node I and you see all the possible hops from I you can go to, and take a node I plus 1, and just by seeing these hops from I, just think what are all the possible nodes which lead to I plus 1, and you just have to determine the best one among those. That is dynamic programming in any problem. It might be a 2D matrix, 3D matrix, or anything. It is the main concept. So in this thing we are clear now. So the next problem is what are going to be our states. Now we know this k minus 1, k minus 4, k minus 9, like these are three states here and k is fourth state. And so for any general problem, what are going to be states? If we are able to determine the states previously without doing anything, like you take a graph and there are predefined nodes, you don't have to add nodes in the middle and everything is predefined. For example, say this is from this node, for this node you can come from this node or this node, there is no other thing. So in this type of problems the state is predefined, only these two. So in our problem, what is going to be the state now, that is another thing. So let's say we have to find for 12. Now we are at 0 initially, which means we didn't split anything and we have to find the split for 12. So what is going to be k minus 1 for this? 11. And what is going to be k minus 4 for this? 12 minus 4 is 8. And what is going to be k minus 9 for this? 3. And if we do the same for all these 11, 8, 3, we will get everything between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So like in the graph problem, in the graph situation, we saw the states are only the given nodes that we already got in the problem, but in this case we have to generate the states by ourselves. So if we generate all states for every substate, we will get everything from 0 to 12. Now that we are clear, so like to get the minimum split of 12, we have to see like 12 minus 1 11, 12 minus 4 8, and 12 minus 9, which is 3. So we have to see which of these lead to 12 with minimum number of hops. For example, 3, we can come to 3 somehow with 1 hop. We can come to 8 somehow with 2 hops. We can come to 11 somehow with 3 hops. So what is the best solution in our case? We take 3 only, right? 3 plus 9, we add 9 plus 9 to 3 and we can come to 12 with 2 hops, with just 2 hops. And for if we take 8, we have to make 3 hops because all 8 already had 2 hops, and from 8 we have to make another hop, which is 3. And if we take 11, we have to make another hop until 11, after 11. So 3 hops until 11 and 1 after 11, so 4. In our case we take 3 because that is the minimum number of hops, and we can just say 2 is the answer. But the problem is we have to find the minimum number of hops for 3 as well now. So it is again the same thing, 3 minus 1 is 2. So our list is 1 4 9 because these are the perfect squares. So 3 minus 1 is 2, so we'll see minimum number of hops for 2, or 3 minus 4 is minus 1, which does not exist, so we can see only for 2. So we do this recursively, which means we take the final state and then we see all the substates of it, and then again we see the substates of those substates, and so on until we reach one base case like 1 or 0. So if it is 1, we can say we are already at 1, or we can come to 1 at 1 hop. A base case is nothing but a case where we know the answer. For example, for 0, we know that to make 0 we don't have to split anything, which means 0 is the answer for 0. And for 1, we don't have to split anything, so 1 is like already a perfect square, so 1 can be split into 1, so 1 is answer for 1. And if we see for 12, what all we have to do is, so 12 minus 1 is 11, 12 minus 4 is 9, 12 minus 9 is 3. Again 11 minus 1 is 10, and 11 minus 3 is 8, 11 minus 9 is 2. So 9 minus 1 is 8, 9 minus 3 is 6, and 9 minus 9 is 0. So if we see, we can again split this tree in for 8 and for 10 and for 12. But the problem is, after we split for 8, we are again going to split for 8. So this is unnecessary computation. So what we can do is we can just reuse whatever value we find for 8, and then we can just reuse it for here to find for 9 as well. So uh, to do this we just have to memorize, which means when we are done with it, we are just done with it, we will not do it again. So for 8 we can store some x value, and then we can say whenever we see 8 we are going to use that x, because we have already done that. That is the approach. So for any DP problem, anyone can do this recursive approach. It's not a great thing, like anyone can do, but the art of dynamic programming is to come up with a recursive logic. So any dynamic programming can be written as you can formulate it basically, which means to come to I plus 1 state, what you have to do something after ith state. This is the dynamic programming basically for any problem. So in our case, to come to 11, we see all the possible states until which can lead to 11, which are 11 minus 1 10, and 11 minus 4 is 6, and 11 minus 9 is 2. We just see all this, so we can just make a number line until 12. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So, and let's write the list of perfect squares. We already have 1 4 and 9. So initially let's consider everything as minus infinity, minus. Sorry, it's plus infinity. Initially we are assuming everything is maximum, so it is plus infinity, which means like we can reach any node after infinite hops, which is like the initial assumption that we are going to make. So these are the perfect squares. For 1, like what are all the nodes that can possibly lead to 1? It is nothing, like we are already at 1, or we can come from 0 or something, but 1 is already a perfect square, so we don't even consider any nodes that lead to 1. So we just put 1 because that is the minimum number of splits we are going to have for 1. And for 2, let's see for 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1, so we can come to 2 after 1 with 1 hop additional. So minimum of this infinity and minimum of number of hops until 1 plus 1 is 2 obviously, so we can come to 2 with 2 minimum number of hops. And similarly for 3, what are the possible nodes which can lead to 3? 3 minus 1 is 2, so if we are at 2, we can come to 3 with 1 additional hop, and the current number of hops for 3 is infinite, so the best value for 3 is 2 plus 1, which is the minimum number of hops until 2 plus 1, so it is 3. Let's take 4. 4 is already a perfect square, so we are not going to split it again. So number of hops is not considered for 4, so the number of splits is going to be 1 because 4 is going to be 4. And let's see for 5. So what are all the possible nodes which can lead to 5? So 5 can be led from 5 minus 1 4, or 5 minus 4 1. So if you remember, we have to take the node which has minimum number of hops, because that is the optimal number we can take until that 5. So in our case for 5 we have 1 and 4, and we can come from 1 to 5 with 1 hop additional. 1 plus 1 is 2, and current is infinite, so it is going to be 2. Or else we can come from 4 with 1 additional hop. Number of hops until 4 is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2, and again 2, so we don't do anything here. For 6, so number of hops for 6 is going to be minimum of number of hops for 6 minus 1 5, 6 minus 4 2. So for 5 the minimum number of hops is 2, I mean with 2 hops we can come to 5. And for 2 we can come to 2 in 2 hops again, So again it's going to be in minimum of infinite and 2 plus 1, which is 3. So we can come to 6 with 3 hops. Similarly for 7, so what are the nodes which can lead to 7? 6, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So what are the number of hops? 3 had already 3, and number of hops 6 had already 3. So no matter what we take, we can just go to 7 in 4 hops. And for 8, so so we can come to 8 from 7, or we can come from 4. In this case, why will anyone come from 7? Because we are making 4 hops to come to 7 itself, and for 4 we are making just 1 hop, and to come to 8 we can come in 1 hop from 4 or 7. So just take this 4, which is 1 hop, so we can come to 8 in 2 hops. And 9, again 9 is a perfect square, so we don't have to do any hops at all, so it is already default 1. Let's take 10. What are the nodes that can lead to 10? So 9 can lead to 10, and 9 minus 10 minus 4, 6 can lead to 10, and 10 minus 1, 10 minus 9, 1 can lead to 10. Let's see for 9 requires 1 hop, so we can come to 10 in 2 hops, and 6 requires 3 hops, so we can come to 10 in 3 plus 1, 4 hops, and 1 requires 1 hop, and we can come to 10 in 2 hops, 1 plus 1, so we take 2 again. And let's see 11. So what are the nodes that can lead to 11? 10 can lead to 11, and 7 can lead to 11, and 2 can lead to 11. If we come from 10, we can come in 3 hops. If we come from 7, we can come to 11 in 5 hops, and if we come from 2, we can come to 11 in 3 hops again. So the minimum number of hops is going to be 3. And let's see for 12 now. So this is the final state, that is the answer state. So if we see for 12, what are the nodes that can lead to 12, which is 12 minus 1, 11, and 12 minus 4, 8, and 12 minus 9, 3. 3 already have 3 hops, so if we are coming from 3, we can come to 12 in 4 hops, and 8 already have 2 hops, and if we are coming from 8, we can come to 12 in 3 hops. 11 already have 3 hops, so if we are coming from 11, we can come to 12 in 4 hops. So what is the minimum number of hops here? Again it is 3, so which is 8, which is from 8, and for 8 from where we came from 4. So for 4, it is like the basic split, so for 12 our answer is going to be 4, and then to 8, and then to 12. So it is nothing but 4, and 8 is going to be 4 comma 4 again. So finally we are able to sum to 12. So this is my explanation. Let's see the code that I just wrote. Well, so initially we are just checking if the number is less than or equal to 1. If it is less than or equal to 1, it is nothing, it is a trivial case, which means if it is already 0, we don't have to split anything, so we return 0. If it is 1 is already a perfect square, so we return 1. So we can just keep it like this. Let's keep a list of perfect squares here. What we are going to do is, we take until the square root of the given number n, and we will append all the numbers until that number. And dp is our array that we just saw here, it is this array, and dp is that, and the base cases is this. For 0 it is 0, and for 1 it is 1. Remember, a base case is a situation where we already know the answer, and in a dynamic programming problem there will be only some base cases. If everything is base case, it will not be a dynamic programming problem, it will be a simple hash map problem, which means you already know everything and you just have to get answer for that particular key, whose value is already present in hash map. So for 0 we already keep 0, and for 1 we already keep 1, because for 1 it is the basic split. And from 1 we just go until n plus 1. So why n plus 1 is, if we take the 0 based convention here, we have to every time subtract 1 from I. Instead of doing that, we can just keep one additional value, and then we can have the luxury of using I as the same value, and in the final place n will be I. So we start from 1, we can start from 2 as well. We start from 1 and we go until n, and at every I we just do this. We just see that number, and just we can see what are the possible nodes that lead to that number, and we can take the minimum one. So here, that is what I am doing. I am taking the perfect squares, and then I am seeing if I minus perfect square, which means perfect square should be at most I. If it is falling in that case, we just do this. So we are just taking the minimum of the present value which is already present in that value, which is already present in that place in array, and we are going to add 1 to the node which led to this current node. And if perfect square is greater than I, it cannot be split like that. We cannot split 10 as 11 plus something, which means we are going to break in that case. And if we do this for all I from 1 to n plus 1, we will get the answer in last node. Last node is 12 and answer is 3, and we are just returning the value for last node, dp of -1. So yeah, hope the explanation is clear. Thank you for watching.